Congratulations, Mr. Hickman. That's my name. Hickman. Lee Hickman. Thank you, Chris, but what have I done to deserve congratulations? The baby, of course. Mrs. Hickman just left with the news. Oh, she did? Oh, yes. Dr. Lassiter talked to her about an hour ago. That was the conversation I had with the receptionist in my doctor's office 7 months ago. I want you out of this house by the time I get back, you low-life, cheating scumbag. What are you talking about? You know good and well what I'm talking about, you cheating jerk. Cheating jerk? Yes. You can't get your own wife pregnant, but you can get some other poor, dumb woman pregnant. What? What on earth? 1 hour. I'll be back in 1 hour and you better be gone. That was the conversation I had with my wife, Judy, 9 months ago. Needless to say, I never left the house within the hour I was given. I wasn't leaving until I found out more about what she was talking about. I was still there when she returned. She walked in, saw me, and stormed out to her car. 20 minutes later, 2 police cars arrived and I was under arrest for spousal abuse. She had called them and reported that I had hit her after she had asked me to leave. I had refused to leave and had hit her. In the 6 years of our marriage, I had never once threatened physical harm to her, much less actually hit her. And only twice had I ever raised my voice. My denials fell on deaf ears, however, and I was taken to jail in handcuffs. I used my phone call to call my best friend Todd. He didn't answer, so I called my sister. She had an attorney down there 4 hours later. Marcus Hewley was his name, and he was probably the biggest person I have ever seen. He couldn't take 3 steps without stopping to rest, and every breath was a wheeze. Judy, during that same 4 hours and on the strength of my arrest, was able to get a restraining order which prevented me from going near either her or the house. It didn't matter for that night because I couldn't see a judge until the next day, so I was spending the night in jail anyway. I spent a sleepless night trying to figure out what the hell had happened to my world. The next day, my bail was set and I bonded out. My sister paid because Judy had made sure I had no access to any of our money and all my credit cards had been canceled. The first thing I did was call my boss and apologize for not calling sooner, but I needed the day off. He didn't seem surprised. My next call was to Todd. Still no answer. Strange. He always answered my calls. I even called his work number. They asked who was calling and I told them. They then informed me that Todd was not available. My sister Louise and her husband Lou had picked up my clothes, which had been scattered up and down the street in front of our house, as well as my car, which had all of the glass broken out of it and all 4 tires flattened. After a shower and change of clothes, I found myself in my attorney's office. "You're in deep trouble," he wheezed, "but I haven't done anything." "It doesn't matter. You're still in trouble." "Okay. Explain it to me." "In this state, women basically control the courts. Your word means nothing, and in your case, the truth means nothing. At least not yet. We have to wait and see what she will do next. I'm sure it will be divorce papers, and then we can see what the grounds are. Until then, don't do anything stupid. And listen to this. Don't communicate directly with her under any circumstances. Do you understand? Do it through me. If she calls and you recognize the number, do not answer it. Call me immediately. If you answer the phone and it's her, hang up and call me. If she bumps into you on the street run, don't walk away from her and call me. You cannot underestimate the importance of what I just told you. Don't write her or text her. Nothing. It is not unknown for women to get restraining orders and then purposefully lure the man into a situation where he is compromised and he goes to jail for violating the order. Look me in the eye and tell me you understand." So I did. A couple of good things have happened in your favor, however. First, she had to release half of the money you had in the bank. The investment account is also frozen, so she can't take that. Also, one of your neighbors took a video of her smashing up your car, so she will have to pay for that. "So all I can do is wait for her?" I asked. "That's correct." "That sucks. I can't even start fighting back." "That is also correct," he replied. "What about my job? She and I work for the same company in the same building." "Wow, I didn't know that. Does the company have more than one building?" he asked. Yes, I replied. Okay, here's what you do. Call your boss before you go back to work and explain the situation to him and see what he says. Maybe he can put you there temporarily. When I left his office, I headed back to Louise and Lou's house. They had loaned me the old pickup truck they kept to haul their boat to the lake, while my car was being re-glassed and retired. After I fixed myself a sandwich, I called my boss. Arthur, this is Lee Hickman. Thank you for letting me have the day off. I need to talk to you about what's going on. So I filled him in. Holy hell, Lee. What are you going to do? I don't know. I still have no idea what Judy is talking about. I've done nothing wrong. Her restraining order says that I can't get within 500 feet of her. That makes going to work pretty difficult. Any ideas? Give me a couple of hours and let me see what I can come up with. Thanks, Arthur, I replied. For the rest of the day, I paced the house and went over the last several months of my life almost hour by hour and still concluded that I had done nothing wrong. I tried several more times to call Todd but kept getting the "his inbox is full" message. By 7, Louise, Lou, and I had finished eating. Well, actually, they finished eating and I was working on my 4th screwdriver. I was getting ready to go to Todd's apartment when my cell phone rang. Hello? Lee, this is Arthur. We need to talk. Where and when? I asked. The Spike on Weaver Road in 20 minutes? See you there. 18 minutes later, I was ordering my 5th screwdriver of the day. Arthur came in and sat. Okay. I talked to Judy's supervisor. He told me that Todd Mason has been spending a lot of time in his department and with your wife. Todd Mason and I have been friends since kindergarten. He's my best friend. We're even blood brothers. When we were 11 years old, we each scratched one of our fingers with a nail. You could barely see any blood, but we rubbed those scratched fingers against each other and called ourselves blood brothers. He and Judy worked in the same department. As a matter of fact, Todd was instrumental in Judy getting her job there. That's not unusual. He spends lots of time with us, I answered. This is different, Lee. For the last several weeks, they have taken long lunches together to the point that they have been warned about it. And both have taken the last 3 Wednesdays off. Did you know your wife was off on those days? No, I didn't. Do you know Janet Thompson? He asked. Barely. She has a thing for Todd and they have been to my house a couple of times. Why? For a couple of weeks, she's been telling everybody that she's pregnant. 3 days ago, she walked in and quit without giving her 2-week notice. She then went to Judy's desk and told her that you were the father of her child. Then she left. Oh my God, Arthur, I barely know the woman, and I certainly have never had intimacy with her, I replied. Well, that's not what she says, and your wife believes her. And apparently your friend Todd is not doing anything to dissuade your wife from believing it. I believe he is stabbing you in the back. Now, about work. As you know, we have an office in St. Louis. We can send you there temporarily. They have the same facilities and you can do your work there. How does that sound? Fine, except for the fact that if I leave, I won't know what's going on here, I replied. We can take care of that. We have an investigator we use to check up on prospective employees and various other matters in the company. I can introduce you to him. There's no way I can afford to hire an investigator, Arthur, I answered. Why don't you let me worry about that? I can fund it through the employee welfare program. So now I thought I knew why Todd wasn't answering my calls. If Arthur's suspicions were true, not only had I lost my wife, but my best friend as well. I had never felt so alone in my life. So I went to St. Louis. The first week I was very busy, so had little time to think about what was happening at home. The second week, however, was different. I received a call from my attorney. He had received the divorce petition, and adultery was, indeed, the reason she cited. Not only that, but Arthur's investigator revealed that Judy was basically living at Todd's apartment, and that they were being seen together socially. He had pictures, but no video yet. 3 days later, he had a video. I flew home over the weekend and met the investigator at my attorney's office. We started watching the first of 2 videos he had gotten. One had been taken at Todd's, and the other taken at what used to be my house. The first showed Todd and Judy entering his apartment. They were laughing and appeared to be not quite sober. "Come on, Judy. He's gone. We can start having intimacy again," Todd said as he ran his hands over her body. "It's been 2 weeks and my excitement is full." Judy said nothing as he continued. She seemed to try to resist, but was weakening. He sensed it and started to unbutton her blouse. Soon they were naked and on his bed. And so it went. For 3 hours they made love. We watched it all. I couldn't watch the other video just then, so I took it with me. Every few days, the investigator would go back and observe the two of them. They found that Todd had, for all intents, moved in with Judy. And I couldn't do a thing about it. I spent the next several weeks in St. Louis. My and Judy's attorneys had set up a meeting for the 4 of us. I was in town and had called my doctor to see about getting my flu shot. That's when I heard about Judy's baby. The other 3 were seated when I entered the conference room. Judy just glared at me. I looked at her and shook my head. I sat. "So, Mr. Hickman, we assume that you are going to protest the divorce, but you have to know that we are not going to participate in any course of action which will prolong the marriage." "That's fine with me, Mr. Allen." That's his name, Alan Allen. "Like you and your client, I want the marriage over as quickly as possible." "Good. Then we agree that your wife will receive 80% of all of your assets plus the house." Actually, no, we don't agree. My countersuit is asking that I receive 75% of assets plus the house." "Countersuit?" he asked, looking at me and then Marcus Hewley, who sat there wheezing. "Yep," I said, sliding a copy of my petition not quite halfway across the table, making him have to reach for it. "Unlike your client, I never committed adultery, so her suit has no merit. Mine, on the other hand, does." He grabbed the petition and quickly read through it while trying to keep Judy from grabbing it from him as she choked and coughed while trying to protest and deny my accusation. "You son of a blip. I've never cheated on you and you know it." "So how did you get pregnant?" "Immaculate conception?" I asked. She went pale. No, not pale. Ghost white. She went ghost white and sat there with her mouth open. The 3 of us just looked at her. Sweat beads started popping out on her face. It was very quiet for a long time. "Ahem. Well, we will need some time to look this over," said Alan Allen. "We will get back to you in a few days." He stood and had to help Judy to her feet. As they started out the door, I opened my mouth. "Tell that lying bastard Todd that he can take you all he wants, but if he touches 1 bottle of my wine collection, I'm going to kick his back." She almost went down on her knees, but Alan Allen managed to hold her up. She turned and looked at me. "You know in your heart that I have never lied to you, but Todd and Janet Thompson have. If she is pregnant, he is the father. Not me. I have never cheated on you." She looked at me and started to say something, but Alan Allen stopped her and let her out. "What do you need me for?" wheezed Marcus. I laughed and told him to call me when he heard from Alan. I immediately called Arthur and asked if his investigator could bug Judy and Todd as soon as possible, because the next couple of hours could be interesting. "He can do better than that. The boss is concerned that Todd and Thompson may be using company time and property to perpetrate a fraud on both you and Judy, so the legal department gave him the go-ahead to bug their phones. He has been recording them since about noon yesterday. He should have recordings for you before the day is over. That is if they talk to each other. Oh, and he has another video for you." "I don't know how to thank you, Arthur." "No thanks necessary. Just keep me in the loop." "I certainly will. And thank you again." My phone rang. It was Judy. I didn't answer. Wheezing Marcus would have my back if I did. She tried 4 more times before leaving a message. "Lee, I have to talk to you. Please call me. Please?" I called Marcus and told him. "Stand by," he said. 15 minutes later, he called. I called and reminded her that you could not communicate with her as long as the restraining order was in effect. She will have it lifted before the day is over. I recommend that any conversation you have with her be recorded. I know. It isn't legal, but it's a lot easier to ask for forgiveness than it is to ask for permission. My next call was to Arthur's investigator. Not knowing I would be in town, he had sent the video Arthur told me about to my St. Louis address. It's really ugly, Mr. Hickman. I flew back to St. Louis early the next morning. When I got off the plane, there was a message from Judy. She said that the restraining order would be lifted by tomorrow. Another message was from the investigator. Mr. Hickman, last night I overnighted you copies of 2 phone calls I recorded yesterday. I hope they help. I called Marcus. He verified that the order was being lifted. Does that mean I can go back in my house with or without her permission? Yes, after it is lifted and not 1 minute before. What if the locks have been changed? I asked. Break the locks. Thank you, Marcus. When I got to my apartment, the video was there. I fixed a sandwich and opened a bottle of beer, then played the video. I sat with my sandwich in one hand and my beer in the other as Todd and Judy entered my bedroom and started casually undressing. It was as if they were a married couple, comfortable with a routine they had gone through many times before. Todd watched Judy as she took off her clothes. My stomach rose into my throat as I watched my wife submit to my best friend. I choked, coughed, and sobbed all at the same time, but I continued to watch as they did their deed. After finishing, he collapsed on her and she hugged him tight. I love you, he said. Her eyes went wide open for several seconds, and then slowly closed, and then they were both asleep. I sat there for several minutes as they slept. I realized that I had been mesmerized watching them. I still had the sandwich and beer in my hands, but had touched neither. I also realized that I was bawling like a baby. I struggled to get up and walk to the kitchen where I put my sandwich and beer down. The next thing I knew, I was picking myself off the floor. Apparently, I had passed out. I had no idea how long I had been on the floor. I walked back to the living room. The video was still playing, but the happy couple was no longer asleep. And still, I watched. And still, I cried. I watched as he moved off her. I watched as they lay side by side, and I listened. Have you taken any of his calls? Hell no. I have no idea what to say to him. How about you? I wouldn't even if I could. I will have to see him day after tomorrow, though. That's when we meet with the attorneys. Do you think he will fight it? I just don't know. He got Janet pregnant. I don't know what he could possibly say in his defense. I saw Todd turn his head and look away. I can't forgive him having an affair, so I certainly can't forgive him for that. A long pause. But then I look at me doing what he has done and I can't seem to justify it, especially since I'm pregnant. Thanks to you. This is different. You wouldn't be here with me if he hadn't messed around first, and I'm glad you're having my baby. Oh, Todd, I just don't know. And they continued to talk, and I continued to cry. I finally just fell asleep from exhaustion and slept all night. When I awoke, I headed for the shower. I do a lot of thinking there, some good and some bad. I decided that I hated both of them. Him for lying about me and her for believing him. The void in my life I have felt since this whole thing started is huge. My 2 best friends are gone, and I never had very many friends to begin with. I was sitting in my office trying to eat a bagel with cream cheese and sipping on coffee when Judy called. I answered. Judy, I can't talk to you until I know the restraining order has been lifted. It has been, she replied. You have lied to me before, so I'll just wait until my attorney tells me it's okay. I ended the call. If Marcus knew I had talked to her even this much, he would be really angry. I called Arthur. I'm ready to come home. Pack up and get here. I told the staff and went to my apartment to pack. I had just gotten in my car to drive home when Marcus called. The restraining order has officially been lifted. You can come home. I'm on my way. I'll call you when I get there. I thought long and hard about going right to my house and possibly interrupting Todd and Judy, but decided that I wouldn't. About halfway home, I remembered the audio tapes the investigator sent. I had forgotten to listen to them, so I rummaged around and found them and started the first one. "Hi, sweetie. How did it go?" "He counterfiled and he knows I'm pregnant." "Oh, hell. How did he find out?" "I don't know." "Does he know it's mine?" Todd asked. "I don't know that either." "What are you going to do?" Todd asked. "What am I going to do? Don't you mean, what are we going to do?" Oh, yeah, right. "Todd, he said that you and Janet are lying." Come on, sweetie. Who are you going to believe?" "I don't know anymore. He seems so sure of himself." "That's because he's a good liar. Trust me, Judy. Why don't we have dinner at my place and have some nice hot love afterward?" "I think I will just go home and think." "Come on. What's there to think about? He's a scumbag. He cheated. He disappointed both of us and we consoled each other. What's the big deal? Come over to my place and let's make love." "I'm beginning to get the feeling that that's all I am to you. Is Janet just an intimate woman too?" "What do you mean?" "Lee said that if she is pregnant, you are probably the father." Then came a long silence. "Todd?" "Yes." "Have you ever had intimacy with her?" "What difference does it make?" "I love you." "You love me or my body?" she asked. "Aren't they the same?" he replied. Then came more silence. "Listen, Judy, come on over. We'll make love and talk about it." "You lied to me, didn't you?" she asked. "Judy, Tell me, goddammit. Tell me you lied to me." "All right, I lied to you. I wanted you and I lied to get you. Satisfied?" Todd asked. "You jerk. Did you destroy a lifelong friendship just for pleasure? That is the most pathetic thing I have ever heard. I hate you, you miserable son of a blip." And she ended the call. I had listened with what you might call a calm and dispassionate air. At least that's what I thought until I looked and saw my speed was slightly over 100 miles per hour. I almost slammed on my brakes to slow down and get control of both my speed and my emotions. I pulled into a rest area and sat there for a long time trying to decide what to do. Murder was almost out of the question. My phone rang. "Hello, Judy." "Lee, I have to talk to you. The restraining order has been lifted. Please believe me." "I heard. My attorney told me." "What do you want to talk about?" I asked. "He lied to me, Lee. Todd lied to me. I know you didn't have intimacy with Janet." "Oh, God. I am so sorry. Can you ever forgive me?" "Did you say, 'oh, God'?" "Yes, why?" she asked. "The last time I heard you say that, you were on our bed with Todd, betraying me." "What are you talking about?" she asked. "Last night I watched a video of you with Todd, and you weren't asking for forgiveness. You were asking for more of him." "Where did you see that?" she asked. "It doesn't matter where I saw it." "I asked if you could forgive me. Can you?" she asked. "Let me see. You kicked me out of the house after accusing me of getting another woman pregnant, and you never gave me an opportunity to even deny it. You just assumed that I was guilty, and in retaliation, you had intimacy with my lying accuser and got pregnant with his baby. You file for divorce and want 85% of everything we have plus the house. Did I miss anything?" "Lee, you have to understand," she pleaded, but I cut her off. "I do understand. I understand that there is no way on earth that I will forgive you. I also understand that I will be moving back into the house and you will be moving out. I also understand that you will sign my version of the divorce petition within 24 hours, or the 2 videos I have of you and your baby daddy will be all over the internet." Then I ended the call. After several more hours of driving, I checked into a motel for the night. I drove most of the next day, and that evening I pulled into my driveway and was surprised to find that my garage door opener still worked. Judy's car was there. I went in. She was sitting in the living room. She stood when I walked in. "I thought I told you to." "I have no place to go," she replied. And just exactly where did I have to go when you kicked me out? You seem to have spent a lot of time at Todd's place. Why don't you move in with him? That way you could love him all the time. God damn it, Lee. I don't want to love him. He lied to me and I believed him and it cost me. Cost you? What about me? What do you think my life has been like these last few months? Living in an apartment 1,000 miles from home and knowing my wife is with some lying jerk? I saw it, Judy. I saw the tenderness and the affection the two of you shared. I saw you beg for more. You have his baby inside you right now. You can't expect me to pretend it never happened. You can't undo him and you can't get unpregnant, and I can't unsee the images of you with him, so I don't want to hear about what it cost you. Damn you. I lost my two best friends, my wife, and my reason for living. God damn you. God damn you to hell. You haven't lost me, Lee. I'm on my knees, she said, almost yelling, and had actually dropped to her knees. I'm begging you to forgive me. I messed up. Please. Her voice was much softer now. Please, forgive me. Oh, get up. The last time I saw you on your knees was with Todd. I walked toward the window. I stood there and stared out. Several minutes went by, and I heard a noise I recognized as the garage door. I watched through the window as her car backed out of the garage and moved slowly down the street. The next morning, I received a phone call from Judy's father. I was never close to them, so we rarely talked. Occasionally, I would go with Judy when she went to visit them. Hello, Mr. Landry. What can I do for you? Lee, Judy is in the hospital. She attempted to take her own life by overdosing on her mother's sleeping pills. Fortunately, we found her in time. That's too bad. Well, I have to mow the lawn. See you sometime. That's it? That's all you have to say? He asked. What do you expect? She lied, she cheated, and she's pregnant with another man's baby. Why don't you call him? Because I couldn't care less about your daughter. Please don't call me anymore if you want to talk about her. She recovered well enough to sign the divorce papers. She got 25% of everything except the house. I got 100% of that. I heard at work that both she and Todd had been fired. Arthur confirmed it. I couldn't care less. The months went by. Todd had disappeared. I occasionally saw his sister, but we never discussed him. I never heard from Judy or her family. Like Todd's sister, occasionally I would see a member of her family around town, but I never saw her. And my life was not too bad. My job was fine, and my investment portfolio had increased in value by 7%, so all in all, I was a pretty happy camper except for a couple of things. My heart had a big hole in it, and my soul was gone. The few friends I had stopped associating with me. My co-workers stopped mentioning their occasional nights out after work. They still had them, but I was no longer invited to participate. My family associated with me only rarely. That I had become a grouchy old bear was something I heard almost every day from somebody. I had tried dating but rarely dated the same girl twice. That grouchy old bear thing kept rearing its ugly head. Then the inevitable happened. I was in the mall and came face to face with Judy. She was pushing a baby stroller. We were both shocked. I turned and started away. Lee. I stopped and turned to face her. Do you have a minute to talk? I took a deep breath. Or do you have to mow the lawn? A reference to the comment I had made to her father months ago. Go to hell. And I started to storm off. I'm sorry. I stopped. It seems I am always apologizing to you. That's because you always do stupid stuff, I thought, but didn't verbalize. What do you want, Judy? I asked. Let's walk. And we did. Side by side behind the baby stroller. How have you been? It was either say something snide or stay silent. I chose silence. We walked a bit more and I decided to answer her. As well as could be expected, I suppose. You? Okay, I guess. Teresa keeps me pretty busy. Who's Teresa? She stopped walking and just looked at me. Then she looked down at the stroller. She started walking again. We got to the end of the mall, turned, and started back. Neither had spoken for some time. Enough was enough. "Look, Judy, I have to—" Just then, Teresa started to cry. We stopped. Judy picked her up, and I saw her for the first time. All the memories of Judy and Todd were back in an instant. Judy tried to calm her as I rushed to the nearest trash can and threw up. I never looked back as I headed for the nearest exit. The next morning, I walked into Arthur's office. "Any chance for a permanent transfer to St. Louis?" He looked at me. "Not getting any better?" "Worse, if anything." Then I told him about seeing Judy and the baby. "Christ, Lee, you had to know it was going to happen sooner or later." "I did, but it doesn't have to happen again. How about that transfer?" "I can do that, but you might want to think about it first." "Why?" I asked. "Because Todd is there." "You've got to be kidding," I replied. "I'm not. Last week he tried to get hired by our office there. They didn't hire him, but there is no reason to believe that he isn't still in the area." "Well, kiss my back," I replied. "There is an engineering position in New Orleans I could see about slotting you in, but I would hate to lose you." "Arthur, you have been a tremendous help to me and I am grateful beyond words. But I have to get out of this city. I understand, and I will try to make it happen." I went back to my office and accomplished absolutely nothing for the rest of the day. It took 2 days for my transfer to become official. I had 2 weeks to get to New Orleans. The first thing I did was put the house up for sale. Less than 2 days after the for sale sign appeared on the front lawn, the real estate agent called and said I had an offer. "What are you talking about? You haven't even shown it to anyone." "It doesn't matter. The offer is $10,000 above the asking price if you include all of the furniture, including bedding, linen, towels, silverware, pictures, etc. You take only your clothing and personal items. How does that sound?" "It sounds like somebody is crazy, but I'll do it. It will save me a lot of trouble." "Who is the buyer?" I asked. "I have no idea. We're dealing with an attorney." "When can we close?" I asked. "Next week too soon?" "Hell no. I'll be in New Orleans, but you can handle the closing, can't you?" "Of course. Get your stuff out and I will get a cleaning service in there. I'll get the paperwork to you and let you know when we close." The next week I was in New Orleans looking for a house when my agent called and told me it was over. The house now belonged to someone else. Less than 24 hours later, I received a call from Judy's father. He told me that Judy was successful this time. She brought Teresa to her parents' house, told them that she had bought a house and was going to close on it, and asked if they could watch Teresa for a few hours. 4 hours later, her real estate agent stopped by the house with a housewarming gift. The door was open, and she went in. She found Judy dead on the bed in the master bedroom. The gun was lying beside her. A note on the pillow said, "Lee, I realize now you will never forgive me. I also realize that I can never forgive myself. I am so sorry, my love. So very sorry." And so, we've reached the end of today's story. Was it what you expected, or did it take a twist you didn't see coming? I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Share them in the comments below, and let's get a conversation going. If this story kept you hooked, make sure to hit that like button. And if you're new here or just haven't subscribed yet, now's the perfect time to join our community. I bring you fresh, captivating stories every day, so click that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.